Hello, Kim Barker here. Today I would like to tell you about a new book that has come out. It is by Marcella Bremer, and it is called Developing a Positive Culture, Where People and Performance Thrive. This is an excellent book. This book is for any leader or anyone who wants to learn more about culture and/or improve the culture of their organization, from the practitioner all the way through the scholarly level. With such a small percentage of employees in today's world feeling truly engaged at work, this book is a call to action and a roadmap on how to create a positive culture. In this book, each part builds on each other to help make the organization more positive and productive. In part one, Ms. Bremer begins by looking at what is positive culture. Edgar Schein defines culture as the deeper level of basic assumptions and beliefs that are shared by members of an organization that operate unconsciously and define it in a basic, taken for granted fashion. It's an organization's view of itself and its environment. Tony Hsieh, the CEO of Zappos, says, "For organizations, culture is destiny." A brief history of the study of culture, the models, and the importance of them is shared as well. Marcella also researches and explains why positive culture at work is so important, especially in today's world. Ms. Bremer uncovers what personal preparation is needed to develop a positive culture in your organization. This section is a must for developing your own best possible self. Positive people create positive organizations. To be a positive change agent, one must know themselves first, including their purpose, strengths, and values. This section also looks at the importance of mental maps, challenging limiting beliefs, and checking your energy and attitudes. Sometimes it's the smallest transitions that can have the biggest impact. We must be the change in the world we wish to see. In part three, Ms. Bremer explores interaction interventions that one can do without resources or permission from others, regardless of what their position is. I was so excited to see this because I am a true believer in the power of the intervention. Culture emerges from each action you create, the intervention, and which cultural tools you use when setting up the intervention. All groups, including teams, colleagues, departments, etc., together have the capability to create change and have an impact on culture. In part three, there is a section for leaders specifically which reviews how to develop and embody a positive culture. It reviews what Ms. Bremer says are the 4 ingredients of a positive culture: positive awareness, connection, collaboration, positive meaning and learning, and autonomy. In part 4, Ms. Bremer explores how change circles can create positive change from small groups to throughout the entire organization. She also looks at how you can make your culture more positive by using the competing values framework. She also addresses how to create safety and respond appropriately when there are monsters in your midst. When I was reading this book, I was reminded of a time recently when I was watching the TV show Undercover Boss. Harlan Kent, the former CEO of Yankee Candle, went undercover at his flagship store. The young man who trained him had a really bad attitude and kept talking about how he could not stand the little runny-nosed kids and the parents that did not watch them. When Mr. Kent came out, he could have fired this young man on the spot. But instead he asked questions, and he found out that the young man had many obstacles in his life. Mr. Kent agreed to mentor this young man and help him get on a path that was better suited for him. I saw this happen over and over again on the TV show. Mr. Kent went out to a store that was struggling in their sales. He asked questions as the employee. He found out that the store manager was having a health crisis and several situations going on in her life. When he came out, he helped her. And guess what? When her life got back on track, the sales in the store did as well. I was also reminded when reading this book of a situation closer to home. I had an employee who worked for me a while back, and some people were suspicious that he stole something, and they wanted to suspend him pending an investigation. I said no. If we didn't have a shred of evidence of this person stealing, I didn't want to suspend him without pay pending an investigation. So I fought really hard for that. As it turned out, the employee did not take the item. And I have to tell you, as a result, I had a great employee. And after that happened, I had an amazing employee. The employee knew that I not only had his back, but the company's back and the customer's back as well. It was a triple play, right? Companies should focus on not only their well-being and the well-being of their customers, but also that of their employees. I want to thank Marcella Bremer for this toolkit on how to create a positive culture where people and performance can thrive. If you would like to contact Marcella Bremer, who is an author and a consultant, you may contact her at positive-culture.com. She also has a leadership and change blog that offers weekly inspiration at leadershipandchangemagazine.com. Again, thank you, Marcella, for this wonderful book. The price is right in that it is paperback, and I highly encourage you to go out and buy one, not only for yourself, but a friend, and work on establishing a positive culture immediately in your organization. Thank you.